Well, the situation in Greece, one could describe it as bleak. There are many factors, many situations that are not pleasant, from how young Greeks feel about their future and their prospects, to the fact that almost 1.5 million Greeks live in absolute poverty right now. Now we have tackled these issues. Our organization is trying to form and is actually forming policy recommendations to solve these problems. But what we need more is public awareness in Greece and abroad, because these problems are not yet part of public discourse. People are not talking about the demographic problem enough. They're not talking about climate change and its effects in the Greek economy and society enough. We need to bring these problems forward, and we also need to explain to decision makers, the political parties and the government, what needs to be done to address these major issues. Now, Greece is a modern country, is one of the 40 wealthiest countries in the world. We're not a third world country, but we are facing some major challenges, and we feel that in some very important sectors of the economy and society we're falling behind. We're falling behind other countries that are doing some things that we haven't been able to do, some reforms that we haven't been able to do in the past 40 years, and we need to run to catch up right now. It's imperative that we initiate this dialogue, and we are very happy to be here and talk with members of the diaspora about these issues. As it turns out, they're very knowledgeable. They know many things about what happens in Greece. I think and I hope that we've given them a new perspective to see the real problems and maybe think about them when they go back home, think about ways to contribute to help us solve them. In some cases, like the demographic problem, we need to help young families have more choices in the question of how many kids they will have, when will they have them. We have one of the lowest fertility rates in the world currently. Also, the demographic prospects of Greece in the future are bleak. We are a country that is shrinking. Our population is getting older. By 2050, 1 in 3 Greeks is going to be over the age of 65. So these are issues that we need to tackle now. That's one example. There are several issues that need to be solved timely as well. We have to take advantage of some opportunities that the Greek economy has and that have been left neglected, from our position in the cruise industry to larger things like solving the slowness of our justice system. There are numerous problems and many things I didn't mention today, but the serious thing is that almost all these problems are solvable. We have significant and specific sets of policy recommendations that we have published on our website. People can go in and look at them. We are presenting them to the government, to political parties. We are trying to popularize the results, make them easy to understand and to access to a lot of people. And so we try to add these recommendations in political discourse and in public discourse with our ultimate goal to help form public pressure for their implementation. During the past few decades, several serious entrenched interests have formed, and they're very difficult to dislodge. The main reason that there is political pushback in proposals like these is the fact that many people are afraid to tackle these interests. Some of them are very powerful. It's very difficult to change the status quo, especially when the status quo is so well entrenched. So what we are trying to do, while explaining what needs to be done to the political system, sometimes a political system that is reluctant to implement these proposals, we also try to educate the public in order to form a surge of public demand for these types of policies. The main problem is young people and the unemployed. So the problem is unemployment. And many countries have tackled that problem in the past, some successfully, some not. We have seen the emergence of long-term unemployment, which is a very difficult and very different problem to solve. I think we're either missing the window of time to tackle the problem of unemployment, or we have already missed it. We have now hundreds of thousands of long-term unemployed people in our country. It will be very difficult for them to find quality jobs in the near future. But that brings me back to the solution of the problem as well. The solution to the absolute poverty problem is more jobs and quality jobs. Absolute poverty reached 17% of the population a couple of years ago. It has declined since then. More jobs were added to the economy, but these jobs are not as good as the jobs that were lost. They're lower paying, some of them are part-time, so we need to find a way very quickly to attract good jobs, high-paying jobs into our economy. So we don't lose more people to long-term unemployment. And also at the same time, when there's fiscal space, to try to build up educational programs to reskill these people that are for a very long time outside the workforce. Greece is still an advanced country. We still have a skilled workforce. We still have people, some of them have left, but we have a diaspora that's very active and very close to the homeland. This is something that's different, very different from the diasporas of other nations who leave their country and perhaps never come back. In our case, the 400,000 people who have recently left is not a glimmer, a strong ray of hope. We believe that once some of these reforms are implemented, some jobs flow back into the economy, many of them will come back, and they will come back with more skills, with more experience, eager and able to help the economy grow even stronger than it used to be.